Laura, good afternoon. How are we doing?
My dad is an alcoholic and a very skilled liar. He's stolen money from my family, too many times to count, including my little sisters. Yet in my eyes, at least, I always feel like he's the victim, right? I always feel sorry for him. And another thing I think is important for you to know just for this call is that my stepdad, who helped raise me, sadly took his life when I was 18.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so I'm 29 now, and my question is, how do I avoid the hurt that follows every new lie and betrayal from my dad? But I'm still hoping for some kind of normal father-daughter relationship in my life, or should I just stop hoping and pursuing this relationship with him altogether?
Yeah, Laura, you've got to let the fantasy go.
Okay.
And there's a nagging question that lives deep inside your heart, way there, deep in there, past where the MRIs can see, that just asks almost on a daily basis, what was so wrong with Laura that her dad wouldn't love her? What was so wrong with Laura that even her stepdad wouldn't stay around?
Yeah.
And what I need you to hear me say is, that wasn't your fault. Your biological dad was sick. He's hurting in a way that he couldn't manage, and so he had to come up with other alternative behaviors to manage that hurt. And it's natural and normal for you to ask, why not me? What was it about me that wasn't good enough to love? And I need you to not ever ask that question again, because it wasn't about you, okay?
Okay.
And when you think, why did my stepdad reach out to me? If he would just have called, what could I have done? I need you to never ask yourself that question, because he wasn't well, okay?
Yeah, you're so right. And he didn't reach out. He didn't call.
No.
And he was just gone. Didn't leave anything.
Right.
No letter, no nothing.
Yeah. And so, Laura, since you were about 5 or 6 or 7, you've had a little girl who has been working overtime to get men to love her, to try to figure out a new strategy, a new way to get her dad to love and care about her. And it's built up a universe very similar to whatever the Arendelle, whatever the Frozen, the Frozen movies, right? It's just become its own planet, right? And every time there's a holiday rolling up, or every time he just shows up unexpectedly and says, hey, I'm coming by, man, that castle door is fling open, you put on your dress and your makeup, and this is going to be the time. And then he leaves a mess, and he leaves you with the check, or you find out from your little brother that he borrowed something and didn't give it back, which is another word for stealing, and fill in the blank, fill in the blank, and you get hurt over and over again. So here's what you have to do for your soul, for any relationship you're going to have moving forward, is you have to let that fantasy go. You have to grieve the loss. You should have had a dad who loved you more than life itself, and I hate to be the guy, but you didn't. You don't. And that doesn't mean you're not worthy of being loved, okay?
Okay.
So you have to let that go, and then you've got to do the hard work of, and this is the demon of growing up in an alcoholic home. The only way you get whole, Laura, the only way you get whole is through relationships. And the thing that has hurt you over and over and over in your life is relationships. And so you have to lean into other people and risk getting hurt again, because that's the only path towards healing. Mm-hmm. And that sucks, doesn't it?
It's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're so insightful. We've just been talking for like 60 seconds, and you've really just narrowed everything down. I'm fortunate to be in a wonderful marriage. My husband is amazing,
awesome,
and a God-loving man. And so, I'm just so grateful and appreciative for that. But the other side of it is I have 2 little sisters, a 25-year-old and a 16-year-old. And so much of, what I had to find out about my dad, I found out as I was growing up, and part of me just fears for the 16-year-old. And, I know I didn't verbalize that question, but I guess it's just a kind of a continuation. Like, how do I protect her from him stealing more money from her? And, but without ruining her, the idea of her dad that she's got in her head as a 16-year-old.
And so what I would tell you, Laura, is you're not ruining that idea. You're protecting her. He's ruining that idea because he sucks as a dad.
Right.
And any dad who steals money from his daughter for alcohol, any father who steals from his children, any father who does not spend every moment they have making sure his daughters know how beautiful they are, how lovely they are, how strong and smart and ninja-like they are. Any dad who doesn't put that investment in isn't worth that title of dad. And so you're not poisoning the image. What you're doing is you're putting words to the pain that your sister feels. Mm-hmm. She knows that her dad isn't whole, right? She knows that. You know what she's doing?
She definitely knows.
She's doing what you did, which is blame herself for it and try to solve that.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, because he has just this ability to seem like, poor me.
Of course.
Right? It's like, poor me. Why is all this happening to me,
Yes.
And I'm still this hotshot dad.
That's right. And here's what the daughter and son of an addict does. They spend their whole life trying to make sure dad's okay. Mm-hmm. And it's exhausting because true addicts prey on that because it keeps them from ever having to face the world on their own because somebody's always there trying to make it okay. Mm. And the earlier you can turn that light switch on for your sister, not that she's not going to not love that guy. That's her dad. That's your dad, right?
Right.
You love him, but I'm not going to give him my heart anymore. I'm not going to give him a fantasy anymore. I'm going to draw my boundaries to protect me and my family. If he shows up for Thanksgiving, it's going to be on my terms, and he will not be drinking. We will not give him money. He will not stay at the house. And when he says, well, I just don't have a place. Well, that stinks, right. Dad. We love you, man. We'll see you soon. Because these are the boundaries that are going to keep our family safe. And that's not a dishonorable way of interacting with your father. It's a way of protecting yourself against an abusive person. Mm-hmm. Right? And
absolutely,
you have a husband that loves you. You have won the lottery. You've put the work in relationally. And I want you to do the deep work, potentially with your husband. Maybe make it 2021. This is the year y'all are going to go on a marriage retreat, maybe the first time ever. And I want you to really mine your soul and find out how much of your relationship with your incredible, awesome husband is built on not a co-created relationship together, not a co-created future together, but you making sure he's okay too. Mm. If you've managed to avoid that, you're better than most. My guess is that you are living a life of full support and honor and love, but sometimes that comes at the expense of your soul. And what I don't want you to do is wake up when you're 40 and go, whoa, what happened?
Wow.
Right?
Right.
And so this is a beautiful moment for you to say, husband, let's just call him Tom. Hey, Tom, I won the lottery with you. And you're a great, good man. And I'm going to start letting the fantasy of my dad go. And it may mean that my little sister is going to come spend some time with us, right? I'm going to teach her how to budget. I'm going to teach her how to take care of her money. I'm going to teach her how to apply at college because dad's not going to do those things. And what I want to do over the next few years is I want to begin to dream together. And that may mean you're going to take some college classes. That may mean you're going to have a child. That may mean a whole host of things that you've never even allowed yourself to imagine because your world has been making sure everyone around you is okay all the time. Mm-hmm. And eventually that implodes on children of addicts. And you are worth being loved and your husband's worth being loved and y'all have something magical and beautiful right now. And so if you're intentional about it way, way, way up front and you're open and you communicate honestly with one another, you may need a marriage counselor to walk, not because you're broken, but because your things are so good and you want them to be better. And so having a coach that's going to walk alongside you will be awesome. But now this is about rebuilding a new thing, not constantly picking up somebody else's Lego pieces and trying to stick them back together. Mm. Does that make sense?
Wow, absolutely. And this call was really hard for me to make, but I I'm so grateful that I did, and thank you so much.
No, thank you for calling. And you just said something important, and before I let you go, I want to honor this. It is hard to have to look in the mirror and say, I've got to let my mom go. I've got to let my dad go. I can't continue in good faith and in good conscience to do this to myself, to my marriage, to my children, to whoever, to my brother and sister, because I've got a parent who sucks. I got a parent who continues to hurt. I got a parent who's dealing with their own demons, and they're expecting their children to make them okay. And that's not a child's job. So Laura, that was, I can't imagine how hard that call was. You're brave and you're strong. You're in the ninja club. Way to go, dude. And more importantly, you just set an example for millions of people whose dads didn't measure up, for whose moms had their own demons and their own fights, and are finally going to be children who say, I'm not fighting my parents' fights anymore. I'm not. I'm going to take care of my heart, my home, my spiritual walk, my family. I'm going to love and honor them, but I'm not going to let them have access to my heart anymore because they hurt me every single time. Laura, you're a rock star. Good for you. Next time you're out on the town in Austin, have some queso for me. I miss the good Mexican food here in Nashville, and it's killing me. So have some good queso. I would say on me, but I don't even have Venmo, so I don't know how I would pay you. But you pay for it, and you eat it and say, this is for Delony. So I appreciate that.